So we are here in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm taking a group of 4 kind of mixed level athletes through a sprinting workout. Some of them are actual athletes and former athletes and moving at different ways and different levels, so we'll see what they've got today. First of all, we have Molly Galbraith. Molly is the head woman in charge of Girls Gone Strong, an incredible organization that educates coaches working with females at all levels across the world. They're doing incredible work. Check them out. Second is my good friend Jeevers, Sanjeev Javia, who is a nutritional guru, a supplement formulator, and owns a company called Pros, and they have a great line of supplements to help you out. Third is Carl Hardwick, former Army Ranger, former CEO of OPEX, I think CEO and founder of Coach RX, and definitely the CEO and founder of Proof 3, which is a local training facility here in Scottsdale. And finally, Amira Young. Amira Young, this is her 2nd year as a professional sprinter out of the University of Minnesota. She has a personal record of 11.07 in the 100 meters, pretty fast. So I've purposely chosen 4 athletes of very different abilities here. Amira, obviously, really good, professional sprinter. Molly's just started. I've actually been working with Molly for the last 3 to 4 weeks and doing some quote-unquote sprinting, which is really not really sprinting yet. It's kind of just fast-ish running, but she's brand new. She has a history of powerlifting and weightlifting, like just doing traditional things for the last sort of 30 years of her career. She's very powerful, very strong, but has never been taught how to sprint. And Carl is kind of a similar thing. Carl's ran before, and he's ran pretty close to a 4-minute mile. Like, he's very, very fast from that perspective, but has never really been taught how to sprint. But he's extremely powerful. He spent most of his career doing mixed modal work and kind of the CrossFit way, you know, like OPEX stuff, like a lot of different movements, but hasn't really explored sprinting. And Jeevers hasn't really done much running at all. So he does some play, he works out, he's your typical sort of 50-year-old who does a lot of stuff in the weight room and maybe plays some pickleball but has never sprinted. So a mixed group here. It should be fun. Sprinting is a full body activity. The spine is moving all the time dynamically with power, with force, with velocity. So we're going to warm up that as we're doing these other things, as we're pushing back, as we're impacting stiffly, as we're being expressive. PVC pipe is going to go above your head. Amir is going to give us a demo here. And all Amir is going to do is bend or laterally flex from side to side as she skips down the track. So you're skipping with your knees fairly straight, just allowing the knee to travel behind the hip, pushing back, pushing back, pushing back. You can see the contact is heel first. There's a nice bend from side to side, and she's really tall and expressive. Yeah? Feeling that coming back. Stiff on the ankle. Side bending through the entirety of the spine and being open and proud and free. Move the entire spine, not just the shoulders. And it goes to the side. So we don't do a lot of what we would traditionally or typically call stretching, especially static stretching. There's nothing inherently wrong with static stretching, and if athletes want to do some static stretching between reps or earlier in the session or when they get to the session, fine, whatever. It's not going to negatively affect anything that they do, because the gap between that and the thing that they're going to do is long enough where whatever the research says about that isn't relevant anymore. So if somebody wants to static stretch, fine. But we don't do anything. We don't do any of that stuff. We do some dynamic stretching. Most of the stuff we do is we'll do a little bit later, where we're doing skipping and moving and stretching through range. But before that, we'll do a little things where we prep, or a couple of things where we prep the tissue, maybe prep a little joint stuff. We'll do some leg swings, we'll do some eagles and scorpions on the ground. So let's start off with some leg swings. We're just going to grab the fence here. AY, why don't you just grab a hold of the fence, okay? He's going to do a demo for us. Get up on your outside foot and swing the inside foot. You're going to start off pretty easy, and we just get bigger and bigger and bigger as you become a little bit more comfortable with it. And just allow the pelvis to roll a little bit and move. It's not really that important. You're going to keep everything really stiff. Sprinting is fluid and relaxed and mobile. So allow the bones to move with the muscles. Okay, so he's doing a great job. They're starting off pretty small and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, once you've done the linear leg swing, we do the lateral leg swing. If you don't have a fence, you can just grab a partner or a tree There's always something that you can hold on to for this. And again, don't be super critical about keeping everything under control. Allow things to swing and move. All right, we're going to do a forward hurdle mobility and then a backward hurdle mobility. So we're here, we're square, come up and up and up. Amir is going to do us a great demo. So now a little bit more rotational mobility in the hip. This is something that we really lose as we age, is the ability to move freely through the entirety of the hip. So we're going to do again 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 forward, and then the same sort of coming backwards. Let's come over to the turf. Amira, can you give us an example, please, of an eagle and a scorpion? Yep. So an eagle is on your back, the arms are out to the side. She's going to rotate over and just gently swing the leg so the foot touches the contralateral hand. I'm going to try to keep the shoulders kind of down on the ground. If it comes off a little bit, not a big deal. We're not all of equal mobility, but she's doing a great job there. She's going to flip over onto her belly and do the same thing. This one's now called a scorpion. It'll look like a scorpion. So the heel comes up, it reaches towards the hand. Some athletes are going to be able to get it there, others can't, but we're trying to get a good hip extension. So here, and an extension rotation of the spine there. So the other one was flexion rotation of the spine, and this one is extension rotation of the spine with that hip extension pattern there. So that's a really important pattern for sprinters. So we're doing some acceleration work today. And acceleration work is kind of about projecting the center mass from here to there by pushing the knee back and the foot back behind your center mass. So I wanted you guys to feel that hip extension as soon as we possibly can. And we don't do that when we jog. Like, jog doesn't really do anything for us. Now what you actually do is it's totally up to you. Like, you don't have to do exactly what we just did. But I always like to skip because I feel like that vertical stiffness, kind of the coordination of the ankle, the knee, and the hip together is really important. Like how we coordinate this. I think that's super important for all of us, especially as we age. I feel like it's also really important to move the spine in 360 degrees. So we do it immediately, and then we come over here and actually focus a little bit more on it. It's very important with elite sprinters, as Amira can attest to, but it's also probably more important for people like me and Jeevers, old guys who just, our spine is get tighter and tighter and stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. It's really important to keep on moving it. So that's what we're going to do now, okay? So let's start off with a cat-camel variation. We do a full flexion, full spinal flexion, and a full spinal extension. And we're going to adjust this a little bit. We're going to bring the right knee forward and the right hand forward, and then the left knee backwards and the left hand backwards. And all we've done here now is we've just created a little bit of torsion through the spine and through the pelvis as well. Let's go side lying, arms out here. You're going to reach in front of this hand, really reach, and then just open the book here. You're actively going to be pushing the knee into the ground here. So again, just a very, very basic sort of mid-thoracic rotation move. We're closing off the pelvis, or at least the ability for the pelvis to move, by pushing that knee into the ground. Great, go onto your knees. We're going to bow forward. We're going to take the top of the head towards the outside of one of the knees, fully flexed and rotating right to here. You're going to roll back, full extension, and then lean back to this side, and then we come back again. So everything's on one side, full flexion, great. Then full extension through the entirety of the spine, and adding a hip extension element to that as well. Trying to keep the hips as far forward as you can, so finding that balance where just before you fall over and land on your head. Tall kneeling position. You're going to take one foot out. This shoulder is going to be right on top of that other knee. This foot is going to be flat into the ground ideally, and actively pushing into the floor as we do this. Grip the PVC pipe, go straight above your head. We're going to rotate to this, or side bend to that side as far as you can. Push into it, hold for 2 to 3 seconds, and then come out. Push to that side, as far as you can. Push into that, hold for 2 to 3 seconds, and then come out. The other thing that is really important with the backside of the body is the ability for the shoulder blades to move around the rib cage. So we do a lot of things around the shoulders and movement of the shoulders. So let's do a couple things there. This, by the way, there's about 12 or 15 exercises that we kind of just rotate through. We don't do all of them. We don't do all of them for all the people. It kind of depends on what we need to work on with you. I've got one athlete that doesn't move the shoulder blade on her left side very well. So we do a lot of mobility and strength stuff around the left shoulder blade on the rib cage in this portion of the warm-up. So we're going to sink right in, take the shoulders forward into the hands there. So we sink right into the shoulder blades and we push up into a dolphin position. Up and then sink the chest into the floor, pushing your hips up. Sink down, hold for 2, come out, push up, and we hold for 2 there. Allow that shoulder blade to move up and down and around the rib cage. Feel it, pay attention to it. Pay attention to whether there's any asymmetries, anything's feeling a little bit funky. Don't take all the weight off. We're gonna go a side plank here. It's gonna be on the elbow. The top foot's gonna be right in front of the bottom foot. This hand here is going to come down as she rotates under, drop that shoulder to the ground, rotate all the way over, rotate the feet over, boop, right to there, right to there, to there, and then rotate back up, zoop, right to here. Rotate under, drop that shoulder. We've rotated the feet, so we're in basically a front plank, but we're only on one side. Rotate under, reach, back onto this side. We'll do 5 or 6 on each side if your shoulders can handle it. Great, good job. Okay, grab your PVC pipe again. We're going to go into a 90-90 position, or a half kneeling position. So we're here. Pipe is above your head. We're going to reach back towards this back foot, hold for 2 to 3 seconds, and come out of it. Then we're going to drop the pipe and rotate back towards the back foot again, but now we're in flexion. So we come up into extension. Extend back, reach towards that back foot, hold for 2 to 3 seconds, come back into flexion, do the same thing. Trying to keep that front hip in internal rotation, so pushing the front hip forward. Don't allow that to move back, especially as you go into flexion rotation on the other side. We've done the jog, our version of the jog. Now what are you going to do before you actually start doing things a little bit more specifically? I'm going to warm up all the little independent things, all the things, the ankles, the knees, the hips. That's kind of what we're doing here. Cool? Let's take a little break and then we'll redo a couple of the skips and strides, and then we'll get into the more general part of the warm-up. All right, so we've jogged, or the walk skip, where we're trying to pay attention to how the body feels, thinking about what we're doing on the day. We've done some ground-based stuff where we're trying to warm up the spine and do some things around the things that we need to pay attention to. Now we're going to move into the general part of the warm-up, the stuff where we actually move. We call this DM, or dynamic mobility work. So it's going to start off with a skip into a lunge. Skip, skip, drop into a lunge. And be patient down there, straighten that back leg, and then reach up to the ceiling or the sky. Push up, yep, great. Skip, skip, drop. Good, nice long step, and feeling the hip extension pattern, flexing or extending fully through the spine. Now we shuffle, flat foot contact, big arms. Be really expressive. Oh, great, really good job. Good. Pretty good. And then a backwards walk to the end. The heel comes all the way up to the butt and reach back, reach back. Kind of keeping a pretty upright torso. Again, like the exercise, these are just what we do. You can choose whatever, right? But we're thinking about moving in all the planes at all the velocities and all the ranges of motion. That's kind of the major thing, what we're thinking about when developing a dynamic mobility or dynamic flexibility exercise. Second series, you're going to take 5 little steps over the ankle. Go wide with their stance. You're going to go down to the middle, down to the left, down to the right, back down to the middle again. Hop back up, 5 little steps. Do a karaoke, then another karaoke, and then a backward skip. Okay? The butt and reach back, reach back, reach back, reach back, reach back. Yeah, nice work. Great, good. All right, so we're going to kind of redo the first one, but now it's a little bit more open, a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more free, a little bit more athletic. Think about feeling athletic, Jeevers. Like an athlete. That's what athletic means, all right? Yeah. Move like an athlete. Be expressive. So now the movements are just bigger, more open, more free. We're a little bit more warm. Got a little bit of sweat going, heart rate's up a little bit. Amira's going to do a great demo for us. She's going to skip. She's going to rotate the arms. When she gets into the shuffle, she's really going to push up, 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 get really vertical. Again,
Flats of your feet though, okay? And then she's gonna do a backwards run. High recovery, heel comes right up to your butt. So big, 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 big. Pushing the knee back, feeling the extension. What's the foot impacting the ground like? How expressive is she? What's her posture looking like? What is the spine doing? Is that moving? She's doing a really good job here. Now she transitions quickly into a backwards run. Bop, 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 bop. Really nice. Great job. Amira, I'm glad we brought you. All right, look just like that, okay? Jeevers, you got it?
I got it.
Good, let's go. Big, 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 big and open. Yes, Carl, like that. Good. Jeevers, nice work. Bigger shuffle now, so you're pushing up, up, up. Nice, great. Flats of your feet. And then we hit and reverse and come back. Boom, other side. And then we transition into a backwards run where the heel comes right up to your butt and you push back into extension. Great. Not bad. Pretty good. Let's take two.
So while not everybody can sprint well, as you've seen here today, everybody can sprint and everybody can get better at it. We just need to work on it. It's like anything.
It's so important to continue stretching and moving our bodies into ways in which we can do when we're younger. We start off life with not a lot of things that we can do, and we end life with very, very few things that we can do. But in the middle, it's really important that we are able to do everything, and we continue stretching ourselves in these abilities to move our bodies in all sorts of different ways. We shouldn't be limited to just now when we're 30 or 40 or 50 or 60, just lifting some weights and going for a jog and playing pickleball. We should have the freedom to move and express our bodies in all sorts of different ways. And if you can sprint, especially if you can sprint close to maximally, you can do all things. As you saw here today, we did this on a track. And as I said, I typically would not do this on a track. Find a field, find a hill, especially if you're accelerating. It's the safest way to do it. Find a nice hill and do a full warm-up, 20, 30 minutes, and then spend 10 or 15 minutes doing some accelerations up the hill with long recoveries. Thanks for joining us. I hope this is useful for you.